Has been 453 days since now 16-year-old Sebastian Rogers vanished from his home in Hendersonville. His disappearance sparked national headlines, but now his father says the case is losing momentum. With National Missing Children's Day coming up on Sunday, he is raising his voice and demanding urgency. News 2's Caitlin.
I went and talked to neighbors, and every single one of them, every single one, welcomed me. And if they had video surveillance, they gave it to me. The only person that would not talk to me, as the only person that had something to hide and wouldn't talk to me. You know, she has a son that's hiding and waiting for somebody in the dark, late night on the 25th. And there needs to be some explaining for that. I'll just leave it at that.
That we are going to keep searching, we are going to keep looking, we are going to find him, and we are going to bring him home.
Since we first aired the video last month, authorities have said no evidentiary value.
It is of no evidentiary value. It is of no evidentiary value.
Can you tell me what those lights are?
No.
Why?
Because the investigation remains ongoing.
Yeah, I'm working on behalf of Sebastian. I am not, my client is Sebastian, and they're the guardians that have the ability to sign.
It just started. Hi Dad, I know this is gonna sound weird, but tomorrow's picture day. So could you send some decent clothes over to me so that I can wear the decent clothes and be handsome for my birthday with all decent clothes? Mom!
Because our heart is missing. He is my world. I need him. I need him back with me.
Listen, like I said, I've got over 100 hours. I'll tell you that Chris and Katie are the signers on the. I went and talked to neighbors, and every single agreement. And
I gotta realize I need to silence that after the intro. Welcome everybody, happy Sunday. Let me know how I sound in chat. As always, thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to watch the show. Let me see, just checking chat here. I know that intro and Seth and his the voicemails by poor Sebastian. You know, and it's pitcher day, and he wants to win something. It sounds like it's kind of hard. I need to kind of listen to exactly what it says, but it sounds like he wants to be dressed nice so he can, I don't know, maybe win something. But yeah, truly heartbreaking. Oh, it is. It breaks my heart. Okay. I do have some unseen footage. Most of it you guys have seen. But since Fish Sticks has kind of basically, revealed this front yard, which we've tried to be respectful for, in the video where he showed the neighbor's son, and that's where a lot of the 3M cars are seen. And we're going to take a look at that with a broader picture, since again usually I try to edit and try to be respectful to that neighbor, not only the neighbors next door, but the neighbor that actually has the footage. But again, since Fish Sticks has basically just revealed the entire yard and everything, I think it's kind of pointless to block anything out when you know where everything is at. But I will show some stuff that I do find very interesting that we can break down and see what you guys think. Let me quickly just do fix this over here. And again, let me see. Do I sound okay in chat? Everybody's saying, okay, great. Okay, thank you, Geneva. God bless. And thank you so much, Melanie. Chris, you've been doing a good job on the Sebastian Rogers case. Thank you so much. Of course, this case, it bugs the hell out of me. I've invested so much time in it, and it's just, it consumes my world because I want to, find answers. find Sebastian, and of course, bring closure for poor Seth. So let's get into it. Before we get into the main stuff, as most of you guys know, Fish Sticks did put out a video last week. I think it was a week ago today. I can't remember. It was towards the weekend of last week. I can't remember, but it's around a week. And of course, he put this out. This is just after, I put a video out saying, there's a lot of stuff he, kind of didn't explain, like the, telling the news outlet that there was 2 people in a video when there was just one, and he still has not addressed that to this day.
On the 25th.
And I called him
this
out
camera
on it.
is
Again, if you're going to lie or try to deceive us, you're going to get called out for it, right? And then, then he doubles down. He puts out a long, message. We've gone over it. And then doubles down and says, yeah, here, look, here's the neighbor, acting suspicious. And then, of course,
pointed towards the northeast of Kellen Avenue. Now,
we take a look at this video here, which is on June 20, or June, I'm sorry, work in multiple cases, on February 25th, so the night that Sebastian goes missing. It's a little after 10 p.m., so remember, he would technically just be, he went to bed allegedly at 9 p.m., and then remember about an hour later, according to KK, she hears a thud, so technically he should still be in his room. And then if you look at the front room, the way it's set up, you can see basically the front door. So if she's on the couch until, basically midnight, I don't see how Sebastian's going to get out and come play flashlight tag until well after midnight, right?
Also remember, Katie claims
so a little weird. Anyway, so long story short, of course, we dissected the video, and of course, it's just a cat. The neighbor was just going out to look for the cat, and I just wanted to address this. I know we've done it before, but I just wanted to give some updates to it. But, people are saying, what's wrong with you? There's a damn cat. And then so he says, did you find the cat? ? Can you name one thing Mob Crew has done to help law enforcement? Because they, and I appreciate everybody sticking up for me. But anyway, he sidetracks on that. But then he has the nerve to say, honestly, I haven't watched any of the replay videos. I've been on a search, which is true. But then he has the nerve to say that the neighbor's son wasn't calling out to a cat. Their surveillance has audio. But if you saw my live last time, so, of course, since I have the same footage he does, not all the same footage, but at least from this home, and since I've reviewed the shit out of it, because that's what you do when you take a case seriously. And one thing you'll notice right off the bat is this particular camera, because they have they have multiple cameras, but the main 2, they have one kind of looking, down Killen more southwest, and then they have one that's more kind of northwest. And that camera, which is the one that we see the neighbor's son, that one, they both have audio, but the audio on the right one, the north one, we'll just say, it's not very good. It's almost terrible. I have to actually enhance the audio just to get anything. And so he has the nerve to say, well, he wasn't calling out the cat. The surveillance has audio, which technically is true. But if you had actually studied your stuff, you would have known that audio is actually crap. I've showed you guys, I played when we went live the other day, I showed you guys to 2 versions of the bus going up on the left camera and then on the north camera. And you can hear it just fine on the left camera, but on the right one, it's almost, you can't even hear it. You can hear it just barely. So one, even if he was calling out for the cat, you wouldn't have heard it. 2, he wasn't calling out for the cat because it's, nearly 10:30 p.m. on a Sunday night. And yeah. And really, he's just, obviously, it doesn't take him long to find the cat, so there's no reason for him to really start yelling out for the cat because shortly after he looks in a couple of bushes, I'm sure the cat, probably just as any cat owner would know, once he comes outside, that cat is already probably run into him. And unfortunately, we see, of course, the cat come to his owner, and then he brings him in. And, here's where I played the audio. So here's the audio of the bus. And that's cranked up. You can hear the distortion in the audio. That's why I played this. So you can hear the audio in that. That's the, I call Southwest camera. And then the Northwest camera, there's almost nothing. So anyway, here's me kind of highlighting the cat. The cat's in the yard. I've kind of gone over this, but I just wanted to recap this one last time. But the cat actually gets picked up. You can actually see it as he bends down right here. You can actually see the mass of the cat. Now we'll be moving on. I just wanted to address this because I was kind of keeping an eye on SF to see if he had responded, because the last thing he says is this quote right here. Someone says, again, they're saying, hey, look at the damn footage. It's a cat. And then he has the nerve to say, there are several cats in the neighborhood, which is true. You do see strays and stuff running around. Was he outside watching cats, which is stupid. And then at the end, he actually has the nerve to say, because he wasn't bringing a cat inside, he misspelled in, he put at, but of course, that's exactly what he was doing. So
you make it not that way. I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
So that's how I feel about him, of course. It's just ridiculous that, and it scares me because he has all this footage and he had likely not really done anything about it. It just shows more that he was there to be a PR. We've gone over this, but, and he's sitting on probably some very important footage that, needs to be reviewed, responsibly. But, of course, he's just taken certain footage and made it into a joke and trying to throw other people under the bus, especially, the neighbor Bobby, because, she didn't want to talk to him because she knew he was being dishonest. So we move on. And if you can, please hit that like button. We will get to the main part of the show. I also did for the members, and if you're a Patreon, because I know a lot of stuff's coming out with the Brian Koberger case, aka the Idaho 4 homicides. I did do a members and Patreon video. They're both kind of Patreons. I always put a little extra for them, but the members as well. I put something out earlier if you are a Patreon or member, but I do want to maybe cover some of the latest stuff, maybe Monday or Tuesday, because there is a lot coming out. Okay. Thank you, Brenda. I appreciate that. You guys are awesome. Let me see here. Okay. So before we get to the main stuff, the footage, some of the latest stuff that we kind of cracked was these 3 images. Fish Sticks had released this image, trying to say, hey, look, here's an image of the neighbors behind the Proud Stink Feet. Sorry, I say Stink Feet for a reason, or Proud Feet. That's just for my protection. I know sometimes I get that comment, not a lot, but a few people try to tell me, no, it's the feet or the foots, but no, it's the Stink Feet. But anyway, getting sidetracked. If you did miss it, and I may do a short video on this as well, but again, he showed this. clip, which I thought was kind of odd. And of course, he's trying to say, look, there's nothing going on at 3:06 and 51 seconds. 3:07 a.m. But yet we've got a bunch of lights on, including Katie Proudfoot or KK's light there. And then as I examined more of it, we realized that the other clips that were leaked out, because there was another content creator that had some of the same, footage or screenshots of this, and at least 3 major ones were leaked before that live got suspiciously taken down. Again, if you were all for transparency, it's kind of a little suspicious. But did I skip forward? Anyway, because I know I'm skipping on to the main part. But there's a cat in this one. So there's 3 of them. This one's at 5 a.m. And there is a cat right there. So it probably tells me that all these clips are motion activated clips. If you don't know what I mean, so just real recap, most of these cameras, I think, if not all of them, a lot of them are Ring cameras. This one is, I forget what the AI said. I know the one across the street is a Ring camera, 3rd generation. This one might be a slight upgrade, but it does the same thing. It records 24/7, and then it has what's called the motion activated. So anytime something moves across or light turns on, it will then record those clips, and it saves it into folders depending on if you got the cloud. Everything's, they're all kind of different depending on the service you have. But the concept's the same. And what it sounds like is most people in their neighborhood sent over their 24/7 recordings along with their motion activated ones. But it seems a lot of people kept the motion activated ones on a separate drive, or saved it on their cloud or whatever. And it seems Fishstick had went and collected these. So the reason why I think this is really huge is I don't think this is a clip that he just took from like a 24/7 clip, right? He was going through, 12 hours of footage and decided, okay, I'm going to go stop at 3:06 and 51 seconds, which is such an odd time, and say, okay, I'm going to take a screenshot of this, and then I'm going to make a post saying, look, there's nothing fishy going on at 3 a.m. because, we've been talking about 3 a.m. lights. And that was his argument. But now, kind of seeing that timestamp tells me, and with the other leaked screenshots, I think all of these are motion activated events. So the question is, what happened at 3:06 and 51 seconds? So anyway, we've gone into that more if you missed the lives earlier this week. I also broke down, because we know the 3 a.m. car, it would have been arriving right near where we've always kind of suspected it would, just off Kellen, just before Stafford. And if they got there at 3 a.m. on the dot, and then you kind of round out all the events going on in the footage. And that's kind of one of the things that I did. I took all the time that we had from the footage, and then we kind of factored in that when the car turns up onto Stafford, it clearly activates the motion light sensor, and we don't see the car actually turn on its lights until the motion sensors come off. So that, an average motion light starts at 2 minutes. Obviously, it can go much longer. So you add in 2 minutes there, 2 minutes with the lights kind of going, and then you add in another 2 minutes for them getting into the car, then the other lights going back. You round it out to about 6 minutes, a little over 6 minutes, and it's just kind of creepy that you have a 3 a.m. car, and then you have a motion event at 3:06 and 51 seconds. Pretty wild. So now let's get into the meat and potatoes. Right, Carla. I agree. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was, again, so stupid why he did that. Because it's like, because the whole message, right, is like, hey, look, there's nothing going on. Here's the timestamp, but let me just blur the rest of the damn image, right? There's nothing, and you might as well just say nothing to see here, folks, right? Instead of saying house blurred for privacy, should just be nothing to see here. Anyway, what a joke. So, but yeah, we went over that. Also, I'm going to be honest, I did reach out to Nick Barris. It's kind of a shot in the dark, but I sent him, a very respectful email. I don't know if he'll respond. I sent it probably three or 4 hours ago. I haven't seen a response yet, but of course, I'm sure he's busy. In it, I basically asked if he could tell me how long the footage that he received was and if it was cut up or not. I told him I don't need to know his thoughts or theories about the case or anything. I just want to know, if possible, could you just tell me, even if it's approximate, how long that footage that he was sent, right? Because let's just say if it's anywhere under 7 minutes, then, well, and especially if it's around, 6 minutes, or if, he got like a 4-minute clip and a 2-minute clip or something, something like that, that would just even more validify that, the timing of everything going on. Could the 3 a.m. car be red? I think I may know where you're going with this, Amber. I don't know if this relates to the, is it a Camaro? I don't think so. At least not the one that we see. It's clearly not red. Now, if there's another 3 a.m. car that just shows up, anything's possible. But we've always heard from, even well before we had the footage, that they thought this was a silver dark car. But again, until we have everything, I can't, rule it out. But yeah, I know what you're saying. About the Crime Time Buzz videos, which you're referring to. Doesn't mean that car couldn't be involved in something else, right? I'm sure this was, a lot of moving parts. So, all right, let's. All right, let's get into it. Okay, let me just make sure. And thank you so much, Amber, for the $5. Gosh, I've got this stupid lights.
You make it not that way.
All right, guys.
I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
Thank you, Chicky. Yeah, if you can, please, if you're just going to join in, please hit that like button. So here we go. We are, again, since Fish Sticks pretty much is, kind of ruined the privacy of the neighbors. Like I said, he is just burning bridges left and right, and just pissing people off. Because again, I've always tried to be respectful, try to zoom stuff in. But now since he's basically, there's 4 minutes of the neighbor's yard, I don't see really a point, unless, there was something going on that I would probably want to, blur out to be respectful. But now that, again, you guys have the full view, I'm not gonna, to me, I don't think there's any sense of blocking anything. So here we go. Unedited 3 a.m. car. I'm going to show it multiple times, and we're going to look at something very specific about this. Because this is very interesting, and it'd be interesting to get your guys' thoughts on this. So I'm going to play it in regular speed, and then I'll play it in slow motion, and then I'll zoom in because we need to see what's going on in the background. So this is at February 26th. This is at 2:58. This is minutes before, I think, in my opinion, a possible abduction is going to go down. And here is the clip. Again, remember, the audio is on. You'll just notice that there is no audio because unless I enhance the audio, you're not going to be able to hear it. So the car is going to come left to right. It's going to be starting to come here in just a second. Should probably shorten the beginning here. Here it comes. So there is the 3 a.m. car. Silver. This now jumps into a second motion event, which is going to cut now. Now this car does something, and then we will zoom in and look at it, because this is probably more the kind of the highlight of what we're going to focus on in this video. So I do promise you're on the cell phone. This will kind of come together here. But I just wanted to show you guys without it being altered in any way. But then there we go. So there is the car. And as you can see, I have the seconds up here. So from start to finish, it took approximately 43 seconds for it to, it's like 42, 43. It's right in there from basically point A, which I would say the cement wall, from it going up, turning around and coming back. So 42 seconds. So we'll keep that in mind. Yes, they do. But the last I heard, they're on vacation, or at least was. I don't know. They took Faith to Disney World, which again absolutely makes me disgusted. So here's a zoomed in version of the same car, the 26. And remember, dates matter because we're going to have 3 different dates. Get this. And then again, so this is now slowed down so you guys can see it a little bit better. Should have sped this up a little bit. Here comes the car. So again, a little more zoomed in. You have the timestamp in the top left. But it's what it does in the following cars that are very interesting. Yeah, approximately 42, 43 seconds, kind of right in there. So we are looking at, so let me pause this right here so we can just kind of get on the same page real quick. For anybody that doesn't understand geography of this. So we are seeing from this camera about here, and it is pointed up Killen. It can see Devon Court. Remember, before it was a dead end here. There was just a big dirt mound. So it's really kind of a 4-way stop, or you could go, turn around this cul-de-sac. But again, it's a dead end, right? And the light that you're seeing is from this home here, right? So let me just go street view. So again, we are much further back from the camera, but this is the light, and this is also the house where the guy came out to walk his dog. And you'll notice his house light is on, because remember, after he comes out at 12:15, his front porch light comes on. He walks his dog. He goes back in, and that front porch light is on for the rest of the night. So back this up one time. So now you kind of have the info here. So this is the 3 a.m. car. As it goes up. Now, I do apologize, even with being on a cell phone, I do zoom in as much as I can, but it will be a little bit. So here, we're looking at that house, right? So this is kind of Devon Court right here, right? And that's this house right here. So, we are kind of, more like this, but even probably further back than that. So we're looking at this, right? And this house is on, right? We just saw a car go up. So that light's on. So what do we see happen? So we start to see headlights, right? Which means that car is now turning onto Devon Court. It is now turning west. And you're going to see something here in just a minute. You see it went really fast. But you see the brake lights? Sorry. Oops, backed it up a little too much. I do this again because we're going to put this all together. Because this is very interesting. To the TV. Again, I apologize. So just keep in mind, you're going to see this. You'll see headlights, and then you're going to see some tail lights go real fast. I slow it down again when I do a comparison, but right there, headlights, and boom. And you can actually see the tail lights right there. Now this car does something interesting. Okay, there's still the tail lights. Then moments later, and I mean moments, it is hard, but you're going to see a shadow go whoop. Right here. There's a shadow. Again, I apologize if you're on a cell phone. And to me, it's kind of basically doing a 3-point turn, right? Now we see the headlights as the car is now kind of starting to turn towards us, right? So we start to see headlights here, and then we can see the lights here. And then here is the car now coming back down the road. Oh, Lisa, you are the best, mob crew. Stay true, Sebastian Rogers. As always, God bless you guys. No, I think, in my opinion, Jazz, what they did is they turned onto Devon, because and we'll put this all together. Is what they did is they turned down Devon, and then backed up. And then just kind of... So it's basically a 3-point turn. But I think they're kind of going a little faster. But you can see the brake lights. And then you see this black shadow almost immediately come right back. And then the lights and everything. And again, we're going to watch 2 other cars do the same thing. But there's going to be a difference. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you guys. Doesn't she have like they got an SUV, right? I'm trying to think, because we know that one that Terry was seen in. I don't know if that's the same one. They probably have their own vehicles. Seems they all have SUVs, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was some kind of SUV. Okay. So now, the 27th, the day after he went missing, right? So here, oops, sorry. Oh, I think I fixed this where I don't have the time. So here's just normal version. Oh, let me clear this real quick. Ah, she has the same as KP. Interesting. Okay. So remember, it is the next day after he disappeared. Coincidentally, it's 3:15. It's not 3 a.m., but it's 3:15. All right. So kind of weird. And here we're going to see this car coming. Yeah, I can see it start to come here with the headlights. Again, I wanted to show it without it zoomed in or anything. Looks about identical to the same car, but it's not. It is a different car. And we'll point that out. But it is definitely a different car. I've ran a bunch of AI on it. Again, I can't say 100%, but I'm like 95% sure. It's two different vehicles. There's one distinctive thing. The funny thing is, just about everything about the two cars on the 26 and 27 are almost identical, except for one difference. So again, interesting. If we deduce the time from point A to point B, 42 seconds. So very interesting, right? Now we'll slow motion and we'll look at what this car does, right? Sorry, that heard something weird. Okay, do I got it in slow motion? Yep, it's starting again. Oh, maybe? No, it should be at 3:15. Oh. Okay. Here we go. Now we got it in slow motion and zoomed in. Here the car comes. One thing right off the bat is notice the two separate headlights. Very distinctive. I ran a bunch of stuff with the AI. I even kind of did a video on this. And yeah, even though the rest of the car, even like the length and everything, I mean, most sedans, I mean, if they're mid-size, they're going to be about the same length. Tail lights look kind of the same, but very distinct, different headlights. Harley, yeah. So I have done a little bit of the 3M lights. It's a little bit harder, Harley, because we don't have the actual original footage, right? We have the cell phone recording. It creates a lot of issues. And I don't get like the same exact results. There's probably some other things I could probably try to do outside the box, which I have done, color temperature. It's just so much harder. But yes, I have done some things with it, Harley. But that's a great question. Imagine if we had the original footage. Okay. So let's see what this car does when it gets to the top. I thought about that, Michelle. But when I ran the AI, I don't have all the... I do have it, but I just don't have it right now. It was just more than that. And yeah, because I think I asked that question, Michelle. But I don't think it's the same car. Again, I could be wrong. But according to the AI and some of the things, because I did ask that question. That was one first thing I was thinking, like, well, could this just be a beam, on? And I forget the exact answer. I don't want to quote, but so we're gonna zoom in here because I know you probably can't see it. So here we are. We're zoomed in again. If anybody's just checking in, we are looking at footage where a car just went up Kellen, and we are looking at this house who has his front porch on. We now just see a car. This is now the day after Sebastian disappeared, right? He is driving up. You never know. You never know. I'll just leave it at that. You never know. There's a will, there's a way, right? But for today, we'll work with what we got. Okay, so you're gonna notice the first thing that we noticed with the other one. We'll see the headlights. So the headlights are clearly now facing west on Devon Court. Now notice we kind of see the tail lights, almost kind of the same situation, right? But there's one key difference. And it took me a bit because I thought it did the same exact thing as the other car, but it does not. Super slowed down. Oh, there's audio. I don't know if you guys heard that. That's audio from the video. It's slowed down, of course. That was probably the wind. Hold on. I might be wrong on this. Either way, this is fascinating. This is the 27th, right? Okay, I gotta see this one more time because now. Oh, oops! I didn't back it up. Sorry. Okay, here we are. Oh, there it is. Oh, I backed this up too much. I do combine these to show it. I'm sorry. This is very sensitive. Get me back to where I was at. Okay. Right, zoom in. Is this the normal one? Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. Where am I at? 137.29. 137.29. Oh, it's because I zoomed out there. That's why it's confusing. Okay, so we zoom in. So we see the headlights. You can see the headlights start to illuminate the home as it's turning on Devon. And now we're going to see the taillights. And yeah, they are braking hard. And you can actually still see the taillights right here. They're still on. They're still there. And now... Oh, shit. It does do the same thing. Weird. Okay, so I originally thought this one actually drove and turned around. No, it does the same damn thing. Again, that's the wind in slow motion. So now it's turning. Notice how this lamp is kind of like going flickering. That is because the light from the vehicle, as it's doing these 3-point turns, it is, you know, when I back it up a little bit, it is interacting with this light. I'm sorry, I gotta see this one more time. Sorry, and I'll read chat, and I'm going to show you both side by side. Wow, I missed this. Yeah, you can see it, and you can see it hitting its brakes, just like the other one. And it stops right there. You can still see the red. You can still see the red. Still see the red. Now it's going to throw it in reverse. And again, I apologize. You see this little shadow right there. It does do the same thing. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. Actually, I kind of like that better. My mind must have been playing tricks on me. I thought it looked like the car went down Devon and turned. And we'll look at these, the 26 and the 27 side by side. And here comes back. Here comes. Ugh. Very strange. Isn't that odd? Again, according to the AI, and I'll show you guys after. Because I don't want to make this video super long, because I've done kind of the AI stuff with the cars. It tells me, you know, with a fairly certain amount that, you know, it's pretty sure they're two different cars. So here, on the top is the 26. So notice this SUV out in the yard, whereas down here we don't see that. So that can always kind of give you a guide as which if I would add more time, I would put the timestamps, but I just didn't. But when you see the black SUV out, that's the 26th. That's the night he disappeared. And this is the 27th. So now here are the cars side by side. I use Grok. So there are both the cars, and notice how prevalent the bottom car with its, you know, two headlights, which I forget what they call it, just a higher and lower light, right? Again, both the cars, once you get here, I mean, they look identical, right? Again, it's creepy. And no, the brake light is not out. I did think that was like, oh, well, it's definitely the same car. The brake light's out. No, it's not the case. It's just the angle of it, because yeah. Anyway, I did a bunch of research on that as well. It's just kind of an illusion that it makes it look like one tail light is brighter while the other one's not, but it is not a tail light that's broken. I mean, again, I'm not going to say 100% one way or the other, but I gave it a bunch of data. I mean, I've done a separate live on that. And I mean, I was taking screenshots from literally, I mean, I was just taking screenshot, you know, from point A to point Z on all cars. I gave it the dimensions of this car and this car, so it had dimensions to work with. And we'll get to the results. Could it be the same car? It's possible. It certainly does the same thing, and it's 42 seconds there and back. So, again, kind of wild. So let's see as we look at what both cars do. So remember, on the top is the 26th, on the bottom is the 27th. They're about evenly timed, but I think one car is a little bit faster doing this, and then one car is a little bit slower when they're backing up. So we see the 27th. It's like they're going a little bit faster, and they then crank on the brakes, right? But we can still see the brakes even here. Then look at this one. It's almost like it goes just a little bit past where we can't see the brakes. But in both of them, you're going to see a black shadow go back. And again, keep in mind, this is in very slow motion. So if I was playing normal speed, it would just be almost instantaneous. That's why I'm convinced it's certainly not a U-turn. And it makes sense with also the lighting, because if you think about a 3-point turn, compared to, because if you were coming back, right, you should be able to see headlights, and then you should see kind of, lighting over here and not so much here. But in both of them, notice we've already starting to see the headlights on both vehicles as they are now turning and starting to point south. You can see it more prevalent. Notice the light is turning towards us. Same thing on the bottom. Complete 3-point turn. It could be. I mean, it could be the same car. I'll give you the results. Again, I'll give you the results of what it thinks the cars are, which I think, is the best I can do. But now there's more, right? Oh, what did Sharon say? Yeah, I haven't really focused on the Yellow Jacket guy, to be honest. Not to say he couldn't have anything to do with it. But I just haven't really... I do want to go back to the Roadhouse footage. I honestly am more focused on the green hoodie, now knowing there's likely corruption and the fact that you cannot tell me that these guys supposedly been working on this case, really hard at the beginning, looking at footage, and they didn't go and get the Texas Roadhouse footage, and you're telling me it didn't. It took them February. It took them all the way till December 15th, if I recall. It's December 10th to the 15th that they supposedly then found this green hoodie person and cleared them. I find bullshit on that, in my opinion. Absolute nonsense. If that is true, then the people working on this, they're doomed, right? Because they don't effing care. Or there's something fishy going on. All right. So now the 28th. So now 2 days after he went missing. Coincidentally, almost the same exact time as the first car on the 26th. We have another vehicle. Now this is definitely a different vehicle. This seems to be a black SUV of some type. Did I do the start to finish? I know I do. You can hear the wind. And again, this volume's way cranked up just to hear that wind. You can't even hear the vehicle, right? Let's see. So it's coming back. We're gonna zoom in on what this car did, because there's some clear indicators. Let's see. Oops. Did I do the timing on this? Yes, I did. So this one took 58. What did I have it as? A minute 30, right? Approximately. Yeah, minute 30. So 1:30 from start to finish. Now let's take a closer look at what this vehicle does. And then we'll get your guys' thoughts. I'll read chat here in a minute. Yes, this is 2 nights later. Suspiciously, at around the same time, we have the 3 a.m. car on the 26th, 2 days prior. We have this black SUV. Drive up. Yeah, I can explain. Yeah, what was it doing for 1:30? So it did something different other than the first 2 cars. So we zoom in here, and this is kind of how I could tell that the other cars just definitely did a 3-point turn, whereas this one. So remember, we are looking at the house on Devon Court, which has its lights on. And we are going to see here in just a minute. Remember, it's slowed down. We're going to start to see headlights. Definitely windier that night. Here's the vehicle. Boy, did I have it super slow down? Good. So you can see the headlights. Might have set this a little bit too much slow, but and there it goes. We're going to see the tail lights here in just a second. Wait, did I have this really slowed down too much? Oh, I had to cut to the other or the next clip. That's right. Okay. So here you see the tail lights. And so it is now driving up. Notice the tail lights disappear. But the difference is we don't see a black shadow immediately go backwards as a 3-point turn. Instead, moments later, because remember, it is actually, instead of doing a 3-point turn, it is driving down Devon Court, which isn't big, couple of houses, cul-de-sac. It's turning around. And now you can start to see lights again. Light. I think I slowed this one just a tad slower. There it is. Okay, you can start to see a shadow emerge. There's the shadow. It is now coming back. Now notice we won't really see the same headlights here because remember it's turning the other way. So we're just all of a sudden now just going to see the vehicle, which is another indication that the car didn't do a 3-point turn, as it would have been lighting all this up. It is just now going to all of a sudden appear coming back down. I apologize. I think I slowed this a little too much down. really slowed this down. So notice the headlights on this. Of course, it's now turning down. Boy, I think I slowed that just a tad too much down. My apologies. So anyway, but yeah, there's some tall telling signs that this car, out of the other two, did not do the 3-point turn, but actually turned down all the way down Devon and turned around in the cul-de-sac, which is pretty wild. Now, what is this vehicle and why did it do that? And then we'll go back to the other two. Because I don't know. You guys now kind of got me thinking it is the same car. All right. Okay. So this is what I had originally. These are the main cars that I think, at least definitely the 26 and possibly 27. Oops. So, running AI, and again, I did every screenshot I could. It came up with Toyota Camry, Honda Accord. Most of them are around the same generation, between 2012, 2017-ish. So those were the main ones. Now, according to this, on the second car, again, could be the same. It thought it could be a Chrysler. Oops. A Chrysler 200 between the years 2012 and 2014. But just silver, of course. Or a Genesis 80, 2020. Those were the top two. Again, everything looks the same except just for those headlights, right? But I don't know. You guys kind of got me a little curious if that is the same car. But they do the same exact thing. And they do a 3-point turn, which is so odd. So let's also talk about this. There's a neighbor. I live in the neighborhood. I received a message Thursday. There could be law enforcement headed to the house where my house is located. But I have a clear view of the entrance into the neighborhood and into Stafford Court. I also have friends over that I reached out to as well. So I began to notice that random SUVs driving up Kellen Lane turn around in the Devon Court cul-de-sac and go back down Kellen Lane, turning onto Stafford and then leaving. And that is exactly. There's a dark SUV, drives up Kellen Lane, literally turns onto Devon and turns around in the cul-de-sac. Exactly. And they said that this started continuing happening shortly after he disappeared. So my question to you guys, what do you think they were doing? And they're taking that almost same exact route as the first two cars. And very interesting enough, the one on the 28th literally comes right around 3 a.m. So could it be that they watched the footage, they collected the footage on the first 2 days and they started looking at it and they're like, oh shit, who is this car or cars coming up Kelling and turning around at 3 a.m. in the morning, right? I think 5 different times. Yeah, I'm not sure how was it worded. All right. How did they word it? Yeah, I noticed at least 5 plus SUVs doing this over a 30-minute period over several days or something like that. to an hour time span. It was very odd. And then according to the neighbor, they confirmed at least 2 of these vehicles were undercover. So, yeah, I think she's saying like over multiple days, 5+ SUVs driving around, or, you know, maybe the same day. I don't know. But so, Honda. That would be interesting. Honda Accord, right? Very interesting. So now, what is the other side's view on what at least these 2 cars, you know, on the night he disappeared, and you know, what were they doing? Oh, wait. Before we do that, hold on. But yeah, what do you guys think? Very strange. Yeah, I don't know. Now I'm starting to think they are the same car. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to run the AI again. Officer, okay. Hey, Hindsight, good to see you. Again, I'm trying everything I can, and I do have some more stuff that I want to tell you guys about future projects. So let's just also, since of course now we can show the full footage, let's just take a look at that morning he disappeared, and a certain mother has only just discovered that her, you know, one and only child has gone missing just about within 30 minutes ago. Less than that. Let's see what she's doing. And let's time it. So for those that don't know, that's the mother of the year, Stinky Proudfoot. And this is just one clip. All the other ones took 2 clips because, you know, there's a lot of time going by. Not a lot, but of course with Kit Kat, she only spends 32 seconds. As you can see here, 22:54. Add 32 to that. From point A to point B. So 10 seconds shorter than the 3AM vehicles. She didn't even bother to do the 3-point turn. She wanted to get the hell out of there, you know, in my opinion, allegedly. You know, when most people, you know, especially if they just lost their dog or pet, would be out there screaming out their window, you know, just about every alley between every home. They would be with their window down, you know, screaming their child's name or just their animal's name, right? But here, oops. That is not the case. No windows down. And we can tell that she doesn't even do the 3-point turn. She kind of does just the big U-turn, right? You can almost see she actually is getting set up for it right there. Because you don't even see her car right here. So that tells me she just instead of doing the 3-point turn, you know, again, God, I wish they'd update this one. Let me go to the top view, but you know, she probably just went like that. So again, remember their whole thing about them being over the construction site. You've got huge giant wooded area over here that, you know, you can pull, get out of the car, yell Sebastian's name, maybe over here, you know, maybe he wandered into the retention or whatever, could have stopped, yelled his name, right? Even though the law enforcement is on their way, I mean, she's only a minute away from her home. I'm sure she could probably even see law enforcement coming from up here, because remember, you're up higher than down here. So again, I don't think it would have hurt to, as you're up at this T section to, hey, Sebastian, but no, that does not happen. And she is, in my opinion, just there for show. Just want to look good for the camera. And we are just going to quickly make a quick U-turn because why stop to just look, observe, yell, maybe alert the neighbors in that area. Hey, my child's missing by chance, keep an eye out. Nothing like that. Again, I don't know how many comments I've gotten where people have said, I've spent more emotion, time, effort, just searching for my dog, cat, whatever, etc. But not Kit Kat. Again, this is slowed down. I apologize. Probably should have sped this up, but again, just doing a U-turn. Oh, this is just to show that she didn't do a 3-point turn. You never see her. Yep, here she just comes right back around. 32 seconds. 42 seconds for the first two cars on the 22nd, 27th. A minute 30 on the SUV, which could have been an undercover agent, not sure. But for Mama Kit Kat there, 32 seconds is all, she's going to give her, Sebastian, right? It's absolutely disgusting. So now, and then we'll look back here. I'm going to read chat as we listen to this. So now we know how much more bullshit we know that this guy is just full of shit, right? I think we're almost to the snarky level. Let me get chat for a minute. Oh, I think I got that one. Thank you, Sped Teacher. I think I thanked you. You are the best, Mob Crew. Stay true. Thank you, Lisa. Chris, the audio from the video is SF saying, "It's not a damned cat." It's hilarious. Thank you, Harley, for the $10 super chat. God bless you. That's funny. Months ago, I sent an email with a Honda Accord with the Zect rims that was at... Now, we did look at a vehicle, Bliss. I'm sorry. I was going to say blessings. That was believed to be the same car, but it was two different cars. If you want to send me that email again, hindsight knows what I'm talking about. We did look at that. It did not match. But again, it could be something different. I think I know what car you're talking about. Again, I'm going to have to go back. But thank you, Bliss. Again, please keep in mind, I wish I could show you just my junk email from just the spam I get every day. It is absurd. So now that we know that he just doesn't review footage, let's just listen to his... I know we played this before, but now knowing that he just is an absolute tool, let's listen to him one more time explain what these cars are.
Going over this, and I mean, we have spent day and night over and over. I mean, it's really frustrating because it's just like poof, they're gone, and we didn't even catch this person until maybe the fourth pass through. It's so faint, and we've enhanced it somewhere. It's a little bit more visible, but because there's actually another person that we've accounted for that's walking a dog, and so they're kind of like, kind of had our focus on there, but it looks like, but they're not with this person because we've talked to the other person. So. Right. So,
and also, I'm starting to learn a lot of these people he's claiming he spoke to. He says he talked to all the neighborhood except for Bobby. That is bullshit. I can tell you that right now. That's absolute horseshit.
I guess, the next question there will be the vehicles. There was obviously this thing about 2 flashlights outside. There was a garbage truck. There was the fact that the camera you released. Did any of them linger in the neighborhood? Like
in the first day or two, that he's like, oh, I had an Uber come at 3:30 in the morning. So that had been known. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't
a neighbor.
Not a neighbor. It was somebody in the neighborhood. It was somebody on Kellen.
So this is where he's going to go. So he talks about the DoorDash. Remember, 3:30, there's a DoorDash driver. But we are invested in the 3 a.m. car. So let's hear him. I know we've gone over this, but now just with more context and knowing that he's full of shit, and we continue to prove, and he's even embarrassing himself by showing that he's not even reviewing his own footage. So let's listen to what him say about what this 3 a.m. car is.
And so I wasn't afraid to put that out. However, the other vehicle, which I can listen, I know nobody wants to take my word for it, but I can promise you the car is not foreign to the neighborhood. It's known, and they are not. That's not known. If that person, I know people would try to find out who that is and whatnot, and they go after them. And this person, quite honestly, this person probably has no idea that people are trying to figure out what car that is and stuff. And it has nothing to do with anything. Unfortunately, keep in mind, we want to find the clue. So it's disappointing to us as well when none of these things are connecting.
So you say that this vehicle is not foreign to the neighborhood. Are you then saying that the vehicle is commonly in the neighborhood but is not owned by someone in the neighborhood?
That'd be fair to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this?
Think of it like.
Do you know who the owner
is?
Okay, here comes the word salad where you can tell he has absolutely no idea who this person is.
Know who the owner of the vehicle is?
Yes.
Okay. You were saying something. I don't want to cut you off.
Think of it as like, there's daily, like people that come in Ubers and stuff like that.
So I know we've gone over this again, but I just want to, because I want to, we'll put this all together at the end here. So we've got some kind of Uber, DoorDash, whatever, Uber driver, right?
Amazon deliveries or whatever it may be. But you have this, you have the same type of, person for the neighborhood, so it's a known person, but not necessarily a resident.
And right now, nobody in the neighborhood has no idea about any deliveries going on at 3:00 in the morning.
Is this somebody with any known connection to the Proudfoot family?
No.
Okay. So not a family member, not a friend. All right. So I guess that's.
Yeah.
Is this somebody?
Keep in mind, there's a construction site next door. There's a lot of work going on. And I know that it's a weird time of morning, but there's still, things that there's still, workers and whatnot. It's not a worker from the.
So now he's telling it's a construction worker. First we had a delivery driver, DoorDash, Uber driver. Now it's construction driver. Getting there super early, right? Those guys that want to be punctual show up, 5 hours before their start time, right? Absolutely makes sense. And then just as he's saying that, then he starts to say, well, no, I'm sure he's starting to kind of think about that in his head and go, God, that sounds stupid as shit.
Construction area. It's I don't want to say. It's hard to say. It's a person that is in that neighborhood, in and out, several times a week, and it's a known person, and there's nothing, absolutely zero to it whatsoever.
So now he's basically kind of saying it's, somebody like, is dropping off a friend every other night, maybe somebody was working late. He's dropping his friend off, right? I mean, what is it?
Nefarious.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly,
right.
yeah. Not
I mean, is there...
Absolutely ridiculous. And I know we've kind of commented, but So yeah, what do you guys think? I might do the AI again and see. The one thing that the AI was really focused on is the fact that the two lights, let's see if I can get the, sorry, give me 1 second here. Oh, everything goes so fast. Right here. Oh, God. But yeah, could it be? Again, I'm certainly not a car expert. Oh, I know if I try to. Oh, I can see the lights coming. Okay, here we go. I get this one right here, or this one. So yeah, again, everything. Yeah, I mean, boy, that's kind of weird. How the light bends right there. I don't know if there's a light inside. Probably not. That's a weird spot to pause at. Could be motion blur. Yeah, I mean, other than that, and again, if that is the same car, then why would this light be on and not the high beam or whatever the hell that is? Because remember, this is the 26th when he disappeared. But yeah, they do the exact same thing. And the other question, and so the other argument that I just want to finish with, and then we'll read chat here, is, so remember, the camera can see about, let's see, about halfway down Killen, right? So here's the argument. It certainly didn't do, if it's a DoorDash or Uber or whatever, it certainly didn't deliver anything to Kellen or Dev, right? So that means I'd have to deliver to one of these down here, which I can tell you about half of them, I guarantee it probably wouldn't. And if they did, they're in a rush. And I don't see why in the hell they're going to drive all the way up when you have all these different driveways that you would pull into to make a U-turn. And I know I have people, I probably have somebody in here in chat that probably does do Uber, DoorDash. We've had them in here before. And, time is money. You get paid by delivering quick, right? Faster you are at making deliveries. I don't know why you're going to be driving all the way up, especially if you made a delivery down here, drive all the way up just to make a turn right back down and come down. And we did some research. There's a few stores. Again, most stuff is closed by midnight. I think there was a BP that we saw and maybe one or two others, but after midnight, I think all fast foods that are within a delivery radius, right? Because obviously you can't just get any driver, to go 20 miles, right? Unless there's very let's go like in an area that there's only 20 miles between the nearest fast food and that, if that makes sense. But yeah, so there isn't a lot to availability after midnight. A lot of people saying the same car. It could be. It certainly could be. Now it kind of makes me want to look into that because the AI was kind of saying, felt like it was a different car. But if we go with the overall general consensus, Then the four main cars we're looking for is a Honda Accord, a Chrysler 200. Oops. Where's the other one? A Genesis 80 2020. I thought there was one more. Honda Accord. Toyota Camry. I'm sorry. I knew I was missing one. Toyota Camry. It's got some very unique rims to it. Honda Accord. Obviously, a lot of those look very similar, right? They're around the same generation, of course, so they're kind of all right there. But yeah, I think we need to get that information out there, especially until these cars are identified, right? And just like some are saying, maybe was one of these cars seen at Texas Roadhouse. I know there was one that I looked at. It was not the same one, but that doesn't mean there couldn't be another vehicle that could match up. Okay, one last thing. Oh, thank you so much, Margie. I know we didn't hit the quota. I thank everybody so much for the donations. It really helps. At the very least, if you can, hit that like button. I am trying whatever I can to think outside the box. And, it's really tough when you've covered the same case over and over. It feels like you start to kind of run out of material. But, sorry, I'm just making sure I'm not missing any PayPals or anything like that, so I can think. So the one last thing, so don't go anywhere. Do I say 3 p.m.? Okay, keep in mind, guys, I'm dyslexic. I am terrible when it comes to being dyslexic, and it never fails for me to why can't I just find my live show? Why is that so hard? I'm trying to find it because I wanted to look up something, but why? Oh, there we go. Okay. Anyway, I'm sorry, guys. Why is that so hard? I'm trying to find it. But yeah, if I said 3 p.m., I'm sorry. 3 a.m. That's me being dyslexic. Yeah, fog light. Yeah, I'll look at it. Chris, I believe that's the top of the mailbox. Not sure. Brandon says daytime running lights. Yeah, it'd be nice to get some professional, like people, car experts looking at this. Because I guarantee it'd be like, oh yeah, I can tell by this, this, and this, that this is the same car, or this, and that it is a different car. But they certainly do, again, 42 seconds. They do the exact 3-point turn. Almost, they drive literally past that house on Devon and then back up. That is no coincidence. There's certainly no coincidence. So lastly, I just want to finish with that we could all maybe start to team up together with. So here's me trying to think outside the box in a different direction. So God, why is it asking me this? This is stupid. Does it pick up the neighbor's shed and is it infrared? The neighbor's shed. Are you talking about the camera behind the neighbor Proudfoot? Sorry, Sasha. Yes, I have seen that. I don't think it is the same car. I know people have mentioned that to me, and I do recall looking into it. And I love Silvers. Please go check out his channel. His link is literally in the description. God love him. Here's another thing that I'm trying to look at. So I'm trying to get all the photos I can of Sebastian. Here's my thought process on multiple reasons. Is one, to get all the videos and footage, or same thing, videos and photos of Sebastian, especially mainly inside his home. One, I want to notice, are the very little pictures that we do have, are they in kind of the same area? Why is there no pictures of Sebastian in his room? How come there's no pictures of his room? And could one of these photos before he went missing show something such as a surveillance video, a surveillance camera that is set up somewhere in the house? Is there a modem, right? Where's their modem set up? It's got to be set up probably in the living room. That's where most people are. Is there an MVR next to that modem? Depending on what kind of surveillance, if they had surveillance. Because it's rumored they had surveillance. So my question is if we went through all the footage or videos of Sebastian, could there be something of him that could give a clue that showed that they did have surveillance before he went missing, right? And also, the other thing we could look at is what is different between the photos that we can find of him before he went missing, and what is different between the very little interviews that we have, which are obviously very stationary, but there are a few different angles that we have seen. What is different that we could, compare the two, right? Again, just kind of thinking outside the box, but if the rumors are true that there was some kind of surveillance, ring camera somewhere, could they have accidentally released a photo? Maybe it could be not even pictures of Sebastian. It could be Chris and Katie, old Facebook photos that got leaked out of them inside the home that could show that, oh, look, what's that in the background? Is that a ring camera? Is that a camera mounted on the wall that they claim that they never had? Mother works for Brink Security, yet, they don't have surveillance until after he goes missing. Makes so much sense, right? I did talk about that, Lisa, the other day. I didn't want to get too specific because I don't want to burn any sources. But I did talk about how, now, let me be a little more specific. As she says there, it's the team. So please don't go to Chronicles Olivia. But the team, there's a team that did work with her, a big team. Please don't mention any names, Lisa, if you know who I'm talking about. Yes, they were a part of the search from the beginning, just to let you know. They observed some very funky stuff. And there was some stuff that did not add up. And there was even some concerns about their surveillance. And I did kind of mention that in a previous slide. But yes, I'm glad I'm glad I'm not the only one, that knows kind of about that story. But yeah, boy, it'd be nice to have them kind of come forward and talk about, some of their weird experiences, right? Yeah, like I said, just thinking outside the box, right? Footage of Sebastian and or Katie Chris, where they're inside the home, and get those all grouped together, go through them. Is there commonalities of where Sebastian's getting his picture taken when he's inside the home? Is it kind of more obvious that he's typically in the dining room facing one position? We never see a picture of him in his bedroom, and then we're getting a bunch of pictures of him with Crispy outside, Again, in a day and age where you got a camera at all times, you could be taking photos of your wonderful son as he's growing up, but where are all those photos? Aloha. Yeah, Nina said, yeah. Nina said, I think Seth's been a little more, I think he, again, don't quote me, let me know in chat. I think Seth has kind of now come out and said, like, yeah, there's something fishy about that. Navy blue vehicles. I think I know who you're talking about. I have not, but that's not a bad idea. Siggy Mike, oh, thank you so much. I appreciate your love and support. Hey, Miss Fu. Also, I just want to say a huge shout out to Dee and Jocelyn coming in and modding. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, you guys, now it kind of makes me want to redo that AI and look at that. Me, Zach, good to see you, sweetie. I know you're always outspoken. Yeah, I'll look into that as well. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've had a long day. I worked early this morning to get the stuff out for the Patreon and members, but so maybe tomorrow, maybe Brian Koberger, and then of course we're always going to still cover this case, but I do want to kind of mix things up a little bit so things don't get stale. And that way it gives me kind of a break, unless something happens. Yeah, Brenda, I agree. I would love to see behavioral analysis. Yeah, all the experts break down every single interview. And I would love to see that done with fish sticks interviews as well. I mean, how many times have we shown him doing the duper's delight? I'm talking about fish sticks. When he starts, you can tell when he starts lying. He's got the duper's delight. I mean, he can't help himself. Which is a video I want to do in itself, just showing every time he starts talking out his rear end, he can't help himself but do the duper's delight. It was upgraded. Right. It was upgraded. That's right, Lisa. That's right. Interesting. Yeah, Chief. Yeah, with her experience in the Navy. Yeah, we've touched on that in previous ones. I agree. Yeah. I mean, both of them being in the Navy. So, thank you, Geneva. God bless. Me, Zach, thank you so much for the PayPal. God bless you. And God bless everybody being in here. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. Hopefully live tomorrow. If not, I'll have something out. But again, I may want to do the Idaho just to change it up for a day. But as always, this case is at the top, and we're always trying to look at different angles, but upgraded. Have one, need a new one. Yeah, that's right. That's actually true. Yeah. Yeah, now it makes me want to go back and do the AI again, see what it says about the high beams. I will go back and do that. I am kind of curious now. So, I will do that. All right, guys. Much love. Oh, we were going to do pet outros, or collect new pets. We will do that. We'll get, for the members, the newer members, we'll try to do that this week. Maybe do like a members live during the week some point. I just had way too much that I did today. So yes, DA is retiring. Sorry. Oh god. Hit that a little early. Apologize. Yes. I didn't get into that. I may touch on that the next time we go live. So yeah, there's light at the end of the tunnel. There's things happening. They may happen slow, but it's baby steps as always. All right. Yeah, just email me, Lisa. Try to put pet in the subject if you can. But yeah, we'll try to do that like Tuesday or Wednesday, somewhere around in there. Try to have a members live. So, all right, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. We will see you guys very soon. God bless you guys. Hush.
Hold your breath and feel the tension. Devils hide behind redemption. Honesty is a one-way gate to hell. I wanna taste consumption. Breathe faster to waste oxygen. Hear the children sing aloud. It's music till the wick burns out. Got one too many quarters in my pockets. Count 'em like the 4-leaf clovers in my